Like, what happened after Finch's ejection? Do you sense that the team picked up at all, or anything like that after that moment?
Yeah, 100%. I think last time we were in this building, Finchy going out, they did it to him. This time it was self-inflicted, obviously. But I just think that Finchy felt that we needed a little bit of a boost, and he was just fighting for our guys. And I mean, refereeing NBA games are always tough and this and that, but I just honestly feel that Finchy was just fighting for our guys. He had got the tech earlier a little bit, and so he was on a little bit of a shorter leash. And when he picked that up, I just felt that really, gave a lot of energy to our group.
I saw him come over to you right before he got ejected. Did he say anything to you about that, or was it that he might get tossed?
No, not really. I just think that one thing Finchy has a great feel of, I mean, ever since I've been around him, is just a feel for the game, what the game needs, whether it be play calls, whether it be substitutions. And sometimes I think that I think he's had 3 techs the whole year, 2 of them tonight. And so I think that it was just one of those ones that he felt like it was a close game, just showing that he's standing up, fighting for our guys. And then they picked it up and brought it home.
What changed, besides from the effort and maybe the emotion, what changed maybe X and O's wise for you guys? What were you doing better?
Not a whole lot. I think that, to be honest, I think we did a much better job on Booker in the second half, and I think, we forced him. I think, he got loose a little bit at the end, but he had 18 in the first half, and he finished like whatever it was, 3 for 9 or something second, and forced him into 5 turnovers. So I think Nikhil, Jalen, obviously we switched at halftime and put Ant on him, and then moved Jaden over to Durant, and then just tried to make other guys beat us and make some shots, and they did. But we just did a really good job. I think the other thing they had to, once we got the lead, they had to start chasing the game a little bit, and they were trying to trap Ant, and they put 2 on him, and Ant made the right play. And then the other thing, they play small. And Julius was able to, in that third quarter, help us extend the lead by just going through him in the post. And again, he made the right play. Got to the free throw line when they put 2 on the ball. He got the kickouts, and Nikhil made some big threes. So I think that essentially nothing different than we weren't really doing. I just think the defensive end stepped up a little bit, and we just got Booker under control.
Micah, there was a lot of, ejection aside, a lot of just like chaos
to
that game comparatively to what a normal game looks like. It seemed like through the fire of that chaos that your guys kind of like almost went to another level through the chaos. Is that fair to kind of say there? What was it about this? Is it the matchup, or what kind of inspired that?
I think a little bit. I think a little bit as a whole. I think that the guys answering the bell after the Atlanta game, and I think that the one thing Finchy just basically was expressing, we won the basketball game in Atlanta, but and that's an old saying, but don't accept in victory what you wouldn't in defeat. In other words, like making sure we play the right game. So we wanted them to come out today, competitive juices, put together a full 48 minutes. I think when you also look, we played this team in the playoff last year. We're 25 and 21 going tonight. They're 24 and 21. So, you're right there. We're all fighting every single night, it feels like, in the West. But I also think it's just our guys, whether it be the playoff run last year for our young guys, but when you've got Julius Randle, when you've got Mike Conley, Rudy, those guys have been through these types of games, and they just really kept their composure. I mean, it was great. I thought that when it all amped up, we've seen Anthony sometimes when they put 2 on him, maybe a turnover here or there, but it just felt like every single time he made the right play, and including the one, and they apologized, the one ball was kicked, and it could have been a 4-possession game, and they cut it down a little bit close. But at the end of the day, I just thought that the guys just really kept their composure. They knew that was what was at stake, and they just represent themselves very, very well.
Played a lot of guys who normally, don't play. I mean, I know Nas was out, but obviously Jalen Clark really stands out, and I mean, part of that is the matchup, right, with that you're talking about with Booker. But I'm sure Jalen, or did Jalen know that he was going to be involved in this game, or is that kind of just happened in the flow of it?
Yeah, Finchy had spoke to him, just making sure, all hands on deck, especially obviously Dante being out, especially with Nas being out. And I think we'd be remiss. I mean, Luka came in the first half and hit a big 3 for us, and did some things there and really held his own. Pretty much played as even those 5 minutes he was in. But Jalen Clark, that's what he does. I mean, college defensive player of the year, and give credit to Tim Conley and that group, finding him, and that's one thing that translates his defense. And he's not afraid of the moment by any means. Very, very physical guard, and he makes life rough. And I think our guys were excited to see an opponent have to feel that, as opposed to themselves like they feel it every day in practice.
There was a lot of the players said after the game against Atlanta that Finch had talked to him about this window of time being really important for you guys coming to the deadline and the break and those sort of things. I mean, is there some pride in the response to that element of it, or how are you feeling that show up in your group?
I think 100%. I think it's always great when a coach challenges them, as Finchy did, and they respond in the right manner. And you know, like I said, you know, I think Finchy does a heck of a job, but just he keeps them in the moment, doesn't let, you know, and Finchy's always like this. And again, so a lot of that credit goes to him. But I think when you look at what we've got coming up and the amount of games, I think that heading into the break, it almost seems like there's 8 or 9, 11 games almost, but we have the back-to-backs, the same schedule. And I think that's good because you do get in a rhythm of playing. But all these games, they, you know, like you say the other night, I think there's been, 5 times where we were 3 games above. And like what Finchy's saying is we just need to make a push and get up above where you're almost 5, 6, 7 games above 500, and you're not just feeling like, I mean, you look at these standings, it's ridiculous. You're 2.5 out of 4th, and you're 2.5 out of 11th. So, and we just felt like we've kicked a few games, and I think the one thing about our team that makes you feel good going into it is that, I mean, not fear, but I mean, every single night you think you have an opportunity, chance to win a basketball game, and that goes both ways. And so, regardless of the opponent, when we're ready to play, and it seems to like when we take care of the ball and we rebound and get back, good things happen for us.
Coaches always talk about for young players like the need to always be ready for when your number is called upon. But what's it like for a coach when your number gets called on? All of a sudden you're just running the show out there amongst all that chaos.
Yeah, I think that, to be honest, I think last year helped quite a bit. I mean, it was essentially everybody said they did a great job. While I was coaching with training wheels, I had Finchy right over my left shoulder telling me what to do anyway, so I was like a puppet up there. But I think that obviously helped. But, again, when you have guys like Mike Conley, Rudy, obviously Ant, and just the group that we've had and the continuity, and the other thing is I don't try to do anything different than what Coach Finch would do. I mean, there's no reason not to, so it's essentially to try to be the same voice, exact same plays, and try to think, in my mind, I'm thinking, what would he do right here? Because, like I said, he always makes good decisions, not that they always work out, but so nothing really changes in that regard. And I would say, like, E.T. with the defense, it was Corliss the scout, Kevin Hansen does his job, and then Pablo's always hit me with plays and all that. So nothing really changes, to be honest. It just everybody just pretty much stays in their role, and we try to do what Finchy's laid the groundwork for.
And did they say that they missed that kickball?
He did, yeah. He did. Kev, you know, they apologize. And, you know, and I understand they're going to miss games and all this, but I just say it's just frustrating when all of a sudden, you know, four possession game goes to a 2 real quick. But it happens. But the guys were able to overcome it.
Thanks, Micah.
All right.